My brothers and sisters, what did I just watch? Like, I saw this movie yesterday. Literally 24 hours ago, I walked out of the theater. And I'm still trying to process what the actual fuck that I watched. This to me is probably the second biggest surprise of the year because I knew nothing about this film other than horror Twitter saying this is the best body horror movie. I don't even know what the fuck body horror is, but I was like, okay, whatever, let's go watch it. I'll watch every horror movie there is to see. And boy, was this a surprise. I think even if you knew what you were getting into, this was still going to be a surprise. Like, my god, some of the things in this movie are just, there's a lot of like unexplainable there's no reason for me to even explain to you what happens in this movie, because I'm gonna be honest with you, if you like horror and you like, even if you don't like horror but you like silliness, this is the movie. This is the movie. This is that movie that divides people, whether you like it, you judge them by not liking them, or you judge them by liking them. There's no in between there. Like it's a it's a great movie. All right, it's a great movie, but it's not for everybody. Absolutely not. Like, first of all, I'm gonna get the bad out of the way, and then we'll talk about the good. The bad. This movie goes on for way too long. There's so many scenes that you could have just, like, I'm pretty sure with better editing, this movie at least could have been at least like 20 to 50 minutes shorter. There are so many moments, I can't really talk about them, but there's so many moments that get just like dragged on for so long, like shit that happens and disgusting things that occur. They get dragged out for so long. There's so many empty spaces to, like, in my opinion, I guess it was like to raise the stakes or raise the tension or whatever. But like, to me, it didn't work. To me, I felt like, okay, we get it. This is happening. Move on. Come on. And it just kept going and it kept going. One of these scenes, for example, is literally just the last scene, which is one of the most absurd, like, last 20 minutes of a film I've ever seen since like Men. It really goes far beyond anything I've ever seen before. I'm not gonna lie to you. It goes places I didn't think were possible to get to. The movie is well paced. Like, first, second act, they're really good pace. Again, editing choices are really rough, and like a lot of elongated scenery and stuff. But that third act, when we reach the third act, we finally get this like climax of what exactly is going to happen, and you feel the tension. You're finally feeling the moment where, like, oh shit, shit's starting to get disgusting. But then something happens and you go, is this a parody movie right now? Am I watching a parody movie? And then you're like, okay, I'll go with it. I'll go with the movie. Fine. I'll follow it where it's going. It's not really, it's siding more into silliness, but you know, we'll go with it. But then something happens, tragic shit happens, and then you go like, oh my god, what's going to happen right now? And then it happens. A complete, like, not disaster as in the movie's a disaster, but like something so huge happens. I swear I was stunned since that moment. The last 20 minutes, when it hit, like, there's 20 minutes left of the movie, when it hit that mark, I was stunned. I was like, what the literally audibly yelled out, what the fuck am I watching, like 5 times throughout those 20 minutes. I could not even fathom what I was watching, especially how it ended. Like, I was like, what am I watching? I couldn't help but laugh. I mean, like, I feel like the complete, like, horror elements of the movie completely went out the window, and we went for like comedy silliness. And I'm not saying that I hated it. I'm not complaining about it. I fucking loved it. But that's the thing. I did not expect that. It was like a surprise. I was like, what am I watching right now? What happened to the movie? Like, we went from bad editing to this. Like, what is going on? This is one of the most unexplainable. I think you can, like, explain this movie to someone and they'd be like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, even if they're not even watching it, they would question it. And I'm pretty sure if they watch it, they would question it even more. I know this movie won a Cannes prize for best writing, I think it was, and I can see it. It's actually way deeper than it is. Like as a movie, like yes, it's very silly and it goes places. It goes places. Let's just say that. But overall, like underneath all the fucking disgustingness and silliness of the movie, I feel like it has something very deep to tell, especially very very existent in female communities and stuff like that, which they don't like to talk about it, right? But it must be true. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk exactly about the movie, but it's definitely something that happens. But needless to say, this is definitely, and I mean definitely, one of my favorite films this year. Like the silliness on top of like disgustingness on top of a great performances, by the way. I did not give them their flowers. They both, Demi Moore and I think her name was Marley, the other one. I don't remember. I apologize, but they both give amazing performances, and like they truly make this captivating, you know, like vulnerability and just like confidence and all these other themes just being expressed throughout the entire film. It's really good. I just can't get over the how silly the movie gets. And in a way it's self-aware because like yes, it's going silly like half of the third act. You're like, yes, this is silly, but they doubled down on the second half of the third act. They're like, well, we know this is silly. Full throttle. Like, I can't talk about it, man. I wish I could talk about this movie like spoiler wise, but I'm not going to because this is definitely a movie I recommend you watching. Even if you don't like horror, even if you don't like body horror, fuck it, go watch it, dude. Like it's so fun. It's actually a fun movie, and it's not fun bad. It's fun good, fun great even. Like it's one of the best films this year. I'm not gonna lie. I had a phenomenal time watching this, even though I question why I was watching this movie like probably like 20 times throughout the runtime. So I'm gonna give this movie a 7.5. I'm not gonna give it an 8 because I feel like with those editing choices and those prolonged, and I mean prolonged scenes, take away something that could have been way greater. I think those really do tie down. And of course, I gave an 8 to Alien Romulus, and it doesn't truly come close to Alien Romulus, but it's there. It's there. It's there. It's not bad. It's there. It's definitely enjoyable, but it's not a movie for everybody. So again, points deduction. So if you've seen The Substance, let me know what you think about this movie, please. And I'll see you guys next week. Well, I will review The Wild Robot, which is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And I can't wait to see it and review it. So, see you guys next time.